So here's what we're going to do. I found this, and I've already measured right here. Now what this is a step cover on a Proform treadmill. This here goes on each side of the belt to hide the edge of the belt and to protect you from getting caught down in between the belt and the frame. So I just took apart a Proform the other day, and this one here I was able to save. Most of these will break up on you because they're so brittle, but this one here, I really took my time with it, and I got it up without breaking it. 2 of them. So we're going to use it for my fish tank. This one here, I've already stripped all the nails out of this one, and or tacks, as you can see. Now we're not going to be reusing these. So what we're going to do is, this is a little thin, but it ain't no big deal. I could fill those in with something, but I don't think I have anything here that would work for that. I don't know, I'll look around. But it'd be nice if this was a level surface, because what we're going to use to attach it is this 2-sided double stick tape. Alright, so the reason it'd be nice if this was level is because this is not as thick as this hole is deep. So you would have to put 3 layers on it and waste a lot of tape doing it. So we're not going to do that, because you're going to use 3 of these just to equal more than the thickness of this by a little bit, so that you can actually stick it to the glass. So what we're going to do is we're going to make pieces to go on this ridge, because that's a flat ridge, and there is a place here that needs to be sanded. We're just going to take some old 80 grit, and we're just going to sand that where that staple went through and made a little high spot where each staple protruded from it. Alright, so then we're going to take a rag and just wipe it down. Now when you're sticking 3M 2-sided tape down, you want this to be on the shiniest, cleanest surface that you can find, because that's going to adhere really good. It's not like paint. Paint needs to go through the pores and kind of hold itself. This here is a sticky substance, so it does best on shiny, clean surfaces. So where those are, we're already going thin for the tape, because we're going to take and cut this in half all the way up it, and we'll do 2 of them, one for these 2, one for these 2, and we're going to do that for all 4 of them. So what we're going to do to eliminate this here pores, we're just going to get maybe I don't know, some 1200 really fine, and then we'll just sand it again. Alright, so now let's move this one out of the way. We'll do that. Well, actually we're not going to use that because we got enough here to do it. So I've already made a mark right here and right here. So now we're going to take and cut right on this side of that line. So we want this piece right here. So we're going to cut on the inside of that line instead of the outside of that line. We're going to do that on the bandsaw. I'll cut it and get our width, and we'll be back. We got 3" and a 1". We're going to put that in there just like that. And you want this to where the blade will miss this. So then you bring your thing down, your head, and then you line up your hole, or your line where you want it. Tighten her down. Now you're always keeping pressure on it. You do not want this blade hitting there and starting by itself. You want to help that, but you want to hold both of them too. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4 hands. My chest is making 2 hands. Or 1 hand. Alright. So there we go. We're going to turn it on. You want to go really slow. But it's going to speed up here in just a second. Right there. And you pull it all out, and there's what you got. So there's our 2 pieces. And battery's probably getting ready to die on me. We're going to file all that right there, clean it up, make it look nice. But before we do it, we're going to go check it and see how much adjustments I've got to do, if any. I allowed some so I could trim it to be square, just in case it might have been a little off. So I might have doomed myself. So let's go do that. Alright, so we're in here with Mr. Jake and Charlie. Charlie's running around there somewhere. But man, look, that thing it's starting to look a little clearer now. Starting to see remnants of green, which is good. So, see a little bit on these rocks over here. Maybe a little bit over there. But anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do this number. We're going to try to put that right there just to hide them corners. And the same thing with this one, but we're going to do that in this direction. Just like that. So that's what it's going to look like. So now what we need to do is put us some 2-sided tape right here, and we'll go in there and get started at the kitchen table. Alright, so now what we're going to do, we're going to get all 4 of these. We got our 2 different razor blades, and we got our 2-sided tape. Probably going to need another roll, but it's fine. I got another one. In fact, we got 2 more rolls. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a strip right across here on each one of them. So we'll get started on that. Alright, so now we're going to take these and I'm going to make damn sure that I got my knife-proof earmuffs. No, I'm just kidding. I was thinking about that song Colorado Kool-Aid. Now you got to be careful when you got to put these on. You got to make damn sure that you got them where you want them. Because it don't take long for these things to stick into place. Alright guys and gals, we have decided to put this on there just like that. Now this one here I've got a slight problem with. For some reason it's bowed or something. I'm going to have to deal with that another way, but I might have to take that and back off. But the rest of them went on really good, and I think that looks pretty sharp. It gives Jake a place to hide from you. Play peekaboo. See him playing peekaboo. Isn't that cool? Anyway, now we've got these that I want to tend with. So basically what I'm going to do is I've taken a magic marker and blackened this out right here on the front and the side. And I found a piece that came out of my camper or my shop when it was a camper. And these here just slide on. Thought they'd give it a little brass look. Then I took these. This was also my camper that I didn't need no more, and I'm going to epoxy those right to the bottom of that with 100% silicone. And this is for resist mold tub tile 100% silicone. That's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this to the bottom of that using this silicone. Once we've clamped it in place with these clamps, I got 6 of them, 2 for each one. So now we're going to go ahead and get started doing that. Alright, so now we're just going to take and put a little, we're going to try to control this really small, but we don't want a lot. It's going to glue it on there just fine. You just don't want a whole lot of squeeze out, but you want enough to go into the ridge in the bottom of the tile so it reaches all bottom surfaces. So we're going to try that to start with and hope that it works just fine. Alright, so now we're going to try to put this up there really close to being perfect. Alright, as you can see here, in that line right there, you can see a little bit of white coming through. Well, when you see that, that's good. It would be nice if it was all the way across, but you can still see the white line inside there, just barely. So it's enough that it's squeezed into the veins of the tile and hit all surfaces. So some places just got a little more than the others. So the way we take care of that is we get us a brush and we brush that out of there. What we're going to do is take us a rag and just go in that little crack and even the crack out. Alright, so we've got it pretty much even across there. Then you take your fingernail and go in there a little bit further. Oh, and don't get it all over everything else. Alright, so that ought to work right there. So if you wanted to get into more depth, you could take a pen knife with the real sharp point and just kind of take a point across there. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Hold on. Actually, you could take, if you want to get more detailed, you just take a razor, take the point, and it takes off all that little bit, and you could regulate how deep you go by the angle. So, you know, I don't want to go too deep, I just want to kind of trial it out a little bit so it evens out all the way across there. So it takes some of the clumps and then pulls it into places that don't have it. And you're basically trialing your point. And you don't see no white silicone. If I had clear, we really wouldn't have to worry too much about it, but that's fine. So now we get to finish it up, and we'll be back. Alright guys, as you can see, we've got the wooden trim on them. Those are just for looks. Now I can't remove the clamp for 24 hours. I want it to cure really nice. And I think that if that stuff there sticks really good, then I think we're going to go ahead and use a piano hinge right back here, if we can get one in there. I believe there's enough room for a piano hinge, but I'm probably going to have to move the power box for the lights. So I'll have to move that down a little bit and put a piano hinge on each one of these. Actually, I may not even have to do that. I may just be able to put, if I can find 4 matching piano hinge, or any hinge for that matter, would work. We could put one on each side, because the box is about right in here. But you see how I did the design That looks pretty cool, doesn't it? So we want to make sure that we have a perfect gap on each one of these. So we're going to make something or find something that's the thickness that we want, and we're going to put it in between both of these before we actually put our hinge. Because see, this one's closed further back here than it is up here, so that means that's not square. So after we get done putting the piano hinge on it, we're going to put felt bumpers on each corner here on the bottom. And that way when it comes down soft. In fact, you know what? I don't like these on there. I think I'm going to leave them off. I think it looks better off. And I'd like to do something about this side over here, so we might end up doing something over here. I want to hide this stuff right here. You know, and I want to hide the screws and stuff like that. So I would rather have just 4 little corner ones countersunk, and maybe do some tread aluminum right here, because I have some. It's actually not tread aluminum. It's aluminum striping instead of tread, and I'll show you here in a little bit. But I'm going to try to put that here because the front doesn't look that bad. Well, my battery died on me. But anyway, I think that looks better than having this on there, because this here, it's just all faded, and some of it's silver and faded. It's almost clear down to the plastic, which is kind of gray or clear. Might be clear, but I don't like them. I think it looks better without it. Kind of makes it look like a mantle. And if I want to just set something up there, like maybe, I don't know, some kind of whatnot or whatever I want, maybe I could take and put something like that right there. Maybe that right there. I don't have anything else to put there. Oh, wait a minute, I don't know what we could do. So there we go. That works. What do y'all think of that? Oh, and check this out. I went ahead and decided on this for the thermometer because I just think that these are more reliable. I tried the digital, and I found this digital one here to be kind of awkward to use. I had it up there with a suction cup, and I'll show you what it does. And I had this inside, and old Jake, see, that thing don't even stay on there. The suction cup don't even hardly work. It leaks off. See? So I lick it and stick it on there. But see how loose that is? You know, it's never straight. And you know, it's just awkward to work with. So I decided a different route. Look, I just messed up my glass. Yeah, I know. Jake's mad because I put fingerprints on his wall. Alright, and then I put a gauge here so that I'll always know 50%, 75%. You know, I could get it down to, you know, a percentage, like a half a percentage or whatever. So we're considering this wide area here, anywhere in that range, to be okay for 50-50 water change. So it was just something that I had laying around, and I thought, well, I'm going to make it look professional, you know, make it look like a really nice tank. And it is a nice tank. And I have to say that I know this is going to make somebody mad, but a 4-piece band that goes around the top of your tank and the bottom of your tank is a broken band. They are not supposed to be 4 pieces. That is the heart and soul of keeping your tank from exploding. You got to have them corners held together. Otherwise, there would be no purpose for having a band across the front of it going from one in the front to the one in the back, and it's molded to the frame. That's the way they are. If you've got a 4-piece, it's broke, man. It's broke. You're putting too much into the strength of silicone. I think you're expecting a little too much out of that silicone. You gotta have that band one piece, and it's supposed to have the brace that goes from the front to the rear. And if any of those are broke, if any corner's broke, get a new one. They come. I've bought them brand new. They're one piece. So anyway, this is the home for Jake and Charlie. And boy, if they could just talk. Maybe we'll make them talk one day.